All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Week number 15. We got some Sunday night football between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Baltimore Ravens. I have a spread lean in today's video, as well as 3 player props that we're going to jump into here. But before we do that, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. We just hit 43,000 subscribers. Pumping some crowd noise. Thank you guys so damn much for that. But if you are new, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. Before we get to the games, I do want to talk to you about Sleeper. They got an awesome deal going on right now. 3 things. First and foremost, sort of the evergreen. You get the 100% of your deposit matched if you use the link in the pinned comment if you're a first-time depositor. And speaking of first-time depositor, they have a Lamar Jackson free square here. Will he pass for just 1 yard? I think so. So you can get that deposit matched and you get this Lamar Jackson free square if you go sign up for Sleeper today. But what's even better is that they're doing a $1 million giveaway right now as of, I guess a couple days ago, running through December 26th. And it's kind of cool because you don't have to do anything extra to enter the giveaway. You just have to play like usual and you earn tickets into the giveaway and they pay out a bunch of spots. So go check out Sleeper, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. Again, first deposit matched up to $100. It's free money. Then you get the free square and you get a nice chance at $1 million buckarooskies. Go check it out, guys. Link in the pinned comment. Now let's get into this game because we'll start with my spread lean. And it is a lean right now because I'm a little weary for a couple different reasons. We'll dive into it, but make sure you guys are keeping an eye on the pinned comment. That is where I update, the best odds and lines that we get for the plays that we lock in, as well as a lean, whether or not we lock it in or kind of just say, okay, we'll pass here. So keep an eye on that pinned comment because that'll update you guys whether or not we're pulling the trigger on Baltimore -3 here. That is the lean or the side that we're leaning towards. The reason I like that side is because I do think Baltimore is a better team. They've proved this year they're probably a better team. You look at DVOA metrics, they're a better team. I like them in this spot here. But I will say, and I will admit, the fact that this is a 3-point spread kind of tells me that the books think this is going to be a close game. So there's reason number 1 that I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm a little weary about pulling the trigger here. And the second reason, it's still line related. This opened up at 3.5. Clearly a bunch of percentage came in on Jacksonville plus 3.5 because now it's down to 3. So the books are a little weary, as I am, about laying that number. So it's still, not enough to get me off of the Ravens here in terms of a lean, but I want to make it clear, this is kind of is there a trap here? Because no matter which way you want to cut these two teams up, offensively, defensively, run, pass, X, Y, and Z, Baltimore's the better team. They're the number 1 seed right now in the AFC for a reason. So I do like them. They're a better team. If this was 3.5, I'd probably be staying away, but now that it's down to 3, I don't mind Baltimore at all. But I did want to, you guys know I like to keep it transparent with you guys. I did want to call out that there's a couple things in terms of line movement and even where the line was set at that make me a little I think we may smell a little bit of a trap here because this is a Baltimore team that's looked good, right? They've won 3 straight games. They've won 8 of their last 10. They've covered 2 of their last 3. Jacksonville, on the other hand, loses to Cincinnati. Then they lose to Cleveland. The defense is supposed to be their saving grace. Last 3 weeks, 21 points, 34 points, and 31 points allowed. Their defense that, again, is their saving grace hasn't really looked all that good. ETN hasn't looked all that great, I guess you could say. Trevor Lawrence is banged up. He does come back. There's a lot of factors as to why I think that the spread should have come in a little bit higher, but it didn't. So give me Baltimore still. None of it's enough to put it over the edge and say, okay, yeah, we're going to be on the sharp side here. No, I still think Baltimore's a better team, and a 3-point spread doesn't scare me all that much. Just a little worrisome, I guess you could say. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we do ultimately roll with Baltimore -3. Right now, it is just a lean and not locked in as a final play. But we do have a couple plays to dive into for my final plays here. We're doing this over on Outlier, guys. So if you do want to try out the tool that we're going to use, I do also have a link for the pinned comment of that as well. You get 7 days free. But I'm looking at Odell Beckham Jr., his longest reception over 18.5 yards. I also don't mind his receptions line here at over 2.5, but look at the price you're paying, -180 right now. There is a little bit of value there when you look at it compared to FanDuel at -222, right? but minus 180 is a little bit too much to be paying in terms of the risk versus reward. Where I like is Odell here, who's hit this in 6 of 11 games this season. He's come damn close in 3 of those losses there as well, but over 18.5 for his longest reception. Right now, FanDuel has the best price out there at minus 114, DraftKings in second. But if we look at this, right, you're cutting this, cutting these stats up. You got to use your imagination a little bit because we don't have a longest reception allowed to a receiver here. But Jacksonville, the sixth worth team in terms of yards allowed to the wide receiver, right? In terms of receptions, they're also near the top of that list here, right outside the top 10. So yards per reception, kind of looking good in terms of Odell's side of things on defense against, right? And it looks even better when you look at his average depth of target as well as his run after catch rate. So this is a guy that obviously is a deep threat, can kind of make a move on a defender and take the ball and go, but he's also getting targeted downfield here. Average depth of target is 14 yards, meaning technically speaking, looking at this line, right, he'd only have to run with the ball for 4 yards after that target. Not saying that that's exactly how it's going to work out, because he could catch a screen pass and take it for 20 yards and cash this. But what I also like is his run after catch rate sitting at 0.65. What this means is that every single yard that the ball is in the air and he catches it, he's producing another 0.65 yards. So technically speaking, if he were to catch a 13.65 ball that was flying in the air 13.65 yards, right, he's gonna tack on, based on his run after catch rate, about, I guess we could say, about 7 or 8 yards on average if these metrics end up working out. So I think this is a good spot. You can see again, he's hit this 3 of his last 4 games, and it's been absolutely crazy in terms of the balls that he's caught, and he hasn't been catching that many balls, right? Like, again, you look at his receptions, like I said, I do like it, but he's only kind of just scratched the surface here. 4 receptions, 3 receptions, 4 receptions. So that's kind of why I think that this could be probably the most valuable and best bet here. Over 18.5 for Odell Beckham Jr. here in terms of his longest catch. Again, he smoked this recently. He's getting targeted downfield. His yards after catch rate is crazy too, because we know how shifty he can be. And the targets look good. 7, 5, 10 targets last week. I'll take it. Now, our second player prop here is going to be a plus money play. We're looking at Justin Madubuike here as he, once he pops up, over 0.5 sacks. He's had at least half of a sack in all but 2 games this season, and in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight games, if I'm counting that correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight games. He's had at least half a sack, and he's had a full sack, or at least 2 half sacks, right? In 9 of 13 games. And what you'll notice here too is that looking down again using Outlier, this Jacksonville offense here allowing the 16th most sacks in the year, which isn't all that terrible, right? Middle of the pack, but this is a Ravens defense that is getting after the quarterback. 1st in sacks, 3rd in QB hits, right? And it's not a very good Jacksonville offensive line from a pass perspective there. And this is just a guy that, look at 8 quarterback hits in the last 2 games here for Madubuike, and for plus 124 odds, I don't think you can beat that right now. So if this is a push, it's fine, but we're hoping that he gets in there a couple times, at least has 2 half sacks or even a full sack unassisted there as well. Now, our last player prop, again, plus 124 there. Our last player prop, we're flipping to the Jacksonville side of things. We're looking at Zay Jones, over 3.5 receptions. It's the most juiced play on our board today, minus 160 over on DraftKings. He's hit this in 7 of his last 10. He's hit it in 4 of his 7 games this season. But what I really like is his last couple games. If we look at his snap count here in his last couple games, once FTN Daily loads here, Zay Jones here, this is snap count, played 93 and 84% of snaps last week. We can look at his targets, wide receiver totals here. Zay Jones, he's had 8 and 14 targets in his last couple weeks. And if we want to break down sort of the target share, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, and then Zay Jones, the only 2 really here that are to consider. Christian Kirk, was getting tons of targets, 20% of the targets. He is on the IR now, so by default, you're going to be looking at a Zay Jones spot where there's an uptick, and we've seen that over the last couple weeks. And he's obviously the number 2 right behind Calvin Ridley. Look at where these Baltimore Ravens rank in terms of passes per game to wide receiver number 2s. 2nd in the entire league this season. I like Zay Jones' chances here to get tons of targets, and honestly asking for 4 receptions out of a guy that's pretty much damn near averaging that on the season, right? I don't think is asking for all that much. So those are the 4 plays that we're rolling with. I know I just kind of rattled that off, but to recap, we're leaning towards the Ravens here, minus the 3 points. Then we're locking in Odell Beckham over 18.5 for his longest receptions. Then we're looking at Justin Madubuike over 0.5 sacks, and then Zay Jones over 3.5 receptions, guys. Let me know what you guys are rolling with in the comments. I think it's going to be a good game. It's a primetime game that we actually have a decent matchup. I feel like it's been pretty hit or miss. The Sunday night games have been decent, but you know, some of these Thursday night games, it's like, oh, whoa. But nonetheless, guys, we're always here to try and find an edge and give you at least what I'm thinking. If you do want to fade me, that's all right. Go ahead and do it. But those are the picks that we're rolling with in today's video. Keep an eye on that pinned comment to see what we roll with in terms of the spread, because again, that is a lean as of right now. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.